Let's get it cracking. Let's start the session. March list the competition, balls by that action. You can never debate it. This is actual fact. Stephen A. and Max Scales say they say it's a rap. I'm like, say what? Say what? What's up with all my haters? I'm a ball when I perform. So my jersey's in the air. I'm allergic to my haters. Every morning I prepare. Lot of clothes I can wear just like them Oregon players. Yeah, quack, quack. What it do? Rap like it's nothing to it. Matter of fact, you can ask hard and I'm cooking too. Bass dog cooking too. Nah, look at you. Great mind. They embrace mine like a crooked too. 4 takes. That's you. 3 takes. Not me. 2 takes if you lucky. First take. Stop me. 4 takes. That's you. 3 takes. Not me. 2 takes if you lucky. First take. You got me.
So Stephen A's gone, but Max is back. Welcome back to Bristol. Molly Qerim here with Max Kellerman, Stephen A. and NYC. How we doing?
I just want to check on Max. I want to make sure that Max is okay because he was in Southern California. He was in La La, the sunshine, the palm trees, and now he's blessed us with his presence in little old Bristol, Connecticut, and, of course, me via satellite from New York City. Are you okay? That's what I want to know because I care.
What do you mean blessed us with my presence? You are in New York City.
Bless Molly.
Well, I'm working. I'm working.
Yes.
What do you want me to do?
So
what do you want me to do?
Yes.
I'm just here for you. I just want you to know I'm here for you. Are you okay? That's
it was great, by the way, coming back from 75-degree and sunny weather to the rain. That was tremendous.
But there's something we can all count on. I'm always here in Bristol. Coming up, 2 big guests joining the show. Top running back prospect and former FSU superstar Dalvin Cook is here. Plus, Dr. Michael Eric Dyson. You don't want to miss that. He'll tell us how he feels about Colin Kaepernick and Kobe Bryant. But about last night, gentlemen, let's get into it. After trailing by as many as 15 points, the Rockets pulled up the comeback and took a 2-game series lead in OKC. Russell Westbrook put up the most points in a triple-double in NBA history, 51 points, 13 assists, and 10 rebounds, but it wasn't enough, and he doesn't care about the numbers.
You feel like in the fourth quarter, playing the whole 12 minutes, did that kind of affect you, your legs on your shot at all, or any
No,
fatigue?
I was all right. I was good.
Well, so how would you grade when you look at your line on the box score? How would you grade the line?
I don't give a about the line. We lost.
That outfit, though, that was a commitment. In 7 minutes with Westbrook off the floor, the Thunder were outscored by 15. Stephen A., was Westbrook frustrating or a sympathetic figure last night?
I think he was a sympathetic figure, Max. That's what Molly, that's what I get from it. He was a very sympathetic figure. I felt bad for him, and I'm going to tell you why. He leaves the game, they're up 12. I mean, in a minute and a half, now they're up 3. That's when the frustration kicked in. Tim Legler was on Mike and Mike this morning. Our NBA analyst extraordinaire for the family, and he was absolutely positively on the money. I watched this whole game. Westbrook was flowing 13 for 29, shooting over the first 3 quarters. He goes and takes a breath, and before you could have an opportunity to pass gas, these boys was about ready to give up the whole damn lead. I mean, this Oklahoma City team should be completely ashamed of itself. Dudes were scared to shoot. They were missing wide open shots. He was a one-man wrecking crew because he had to be. I know he shot 4 of 18 in the fourth quarter. I know that's historic proportions. We haven't seen that kind of ineptitude in the postseason over the last 20 years. I get all of that. But it breeds from frustration, Max. This dude is balling. He is flowing. He sets his team up to win. Now, you could give up a 2 or 3 points or whatever the case may be. You could even give it up over a stretch of several minutes. But I'm talking about 90 seconds, man. And these dudes, the lead had practically evaporated because these guys acted like they could not play with Russell Westbrook on the floor. It was embarrassing. They should be ashamed of themselves. I couldn't believe how awful Oklahoma City was offensively. And I'm not pointing the finger at all at Russell Westbrook in this particular situation. As erratic as he may have been, this is what happens when the combination of frustration and being overwhelmed gets the better of you, because you wake up in a moment and you rationalize, I have no help. I'm all alone on this island, and that is exactly what he was going through last night, Max.
He was frustrating last night, Stephen A. You're wrong about the sympathy. He was frustrating. And let me start by saying, I want to be very clear about this. I love Russell Westbrook, and he is a great player, and I think he was the regular season MVP. I'm not saying he's the best player in the league. That's LeBron James. I'm not even saying he's necessarily second best. But it's like if I say Ghost is my favorite rapper, Stephen A. I'm not saying he's the best. He's one of the best, and he's my personal favorite. And that's how I feel about Russell Westbrook. Okay, are we clear about that? I'm not taking, like, shots out of nowhere. Westbrook was frustrating for the very reason that he's the only reason they're in the game at all against a better team. How much better is another question, because the Thunder do certain things very well, including crash the boards. But they don't have shooters on the team. The team is not constructed around Westbrook as finely as the team is constructed around Harden. In fact, the Houston Rockets would be a very good team for Russell Westbrook as the primary ball handler. So I get it. He's on an inferior team compared to Harden. And therefore, they are likely to lose, and he's the only reason they're even in it. But that's what adds to the frustration, because in crunch time, Stephen A., he doesn't trust his teammates. He didn't trust them last night. And here's another reason Westbrook is my favorite player. He's not running from that. He copped to it at the post-game presser. He has to trust his teammates. Part of the problem is hard to trust your teammates when they can't really shoot, and you've shot over 40 times, meaning those guys aren't in the flow. You know, some guys are standing around getting cold offensively when one player is shooting over 40 times, of course. Nevertheless, if McBuckets is out there on the three-point line and on two separate plays, you just, you know, you look them off and you take the shot and miss, by the way. That might have been 6 points, because what do you think McBuckets is doing out there at all? It's to hit that shot. And Westbrook in that situation got to get him the ball. And the problem is, the same thing that makes Westbrook so great, Stephen A., is the thing that's keeping him back from being the ultimate winner in the fourth quarter on a team like this. It's the same thing that troubled Michael Jordan early in his career, Kobe Bryant, you might say Allen Iverson. It's that, first of all, maybe you don't trust your teammates because they're not that good, I get it. But bigger than that, it's that he feels such a responsibility to carry the load that he just pulls harder and harder. And what he really needs to do in those situations is relax a little bit and trust more. But he feels such an enormous personal responsibility that he gets tunnel vision and doesn't see the things he's supposed to see. And what I love about him, Stephen A., is he cops to it after the game. He doesn't run. He doesn't deny it. He brings it up. I just got to trust my teammates more. He's absolutely right, and that is precisely what you point out. What is so frustrating? He gets you right to the doorstep, but can't get you in.
You're wrong. And here's why you're wrong. Because you're looking at the macro perspective of it all. I'm looking at specifically last night. I'm not saying that that's not an Achilles heel of Russell Westbrook in general. I'm not saying that's not something that didn't even frustrate Kevin Durant in the past. What I'm saying is, I know what I saw specifically last night. You had dudes who were scared. You had dudes who looked like they didn't want to play. You had dudes who looked like they were wilting in the moment. And when Russell Westbrook went out of that game, they looked like a bunch of lost puppies. I'm only talking about last night. I'm not disputing anything that you're saying about Russell Westbrook overall. But in that fourth quarter last night, I mean, there are moments, Max, where you look in a dude's eyes.
Who are you talking
and this
about?
Is what, hold on, this is what I'm talking about. What I saw dudes
I'm saying,
on the
which
floor.
players look scared to you?
Practically, don't get me started with it. Do you really want me to be evil here today? I'm trying to be nice, Max. I'm really trying to be nice.
They're not great shooters. They're not great shooters, and then they don't get any touches.
Well, wait a minute. They're not great shooters. That's fair. But what I'm saying to you is the way your offense was running, the fact that you had opportunities to take open shots and you were passing it up and looking for somebody else to give the ball to. As far as I'm concerned, the only dude that looked relatively decent was McDermott, for crying out loud. Nobody else was out there with Russell Westbrook.
Stephen A., and he wasn't getting him the ball. He wasn't getting McDermott the ball when he was open with the game on the line.
I heard you the first, second, and third time, but when I would come to you back with this, man, and this is the thing that drives me absolutely crazy about you, because it's moments like this where the boxing analysis, or the analogy rather, is appropriate. I know that you're ringside, Max. You're looking to a dude's eyes, and no matter how much they talk to bloviate it, and even though they're there, they're not really there. You know, they don't want it, Max. They're scared to death. The moment is too much for them. You see that more than anybody because of the pugilistic sport that you cover. I'm saying transition to basketball on that. There's certain dudes, man, in certain moments, on a certain day, and you look at them and you're like this. They don't want this.
But Stephen
and I saw that last
that's
night.
Why it's incumbent.
I saw that last night.
That's why it's incumbent upon the leader of the team to instill them with confidence. For example, Magic Johnson walks in a room.
Tomorrow night,
Magic Johnson walks into a room. To this day, I've seen it. I've experienced it. Every time he walks in the room, he makes everybody feel that they want to be the best versions of themselves. He instills confidence. He has that about him. Russell Westbrook is, and this is part of the way the game is played now with primary ball handlers. The point guards are basically the primary scoring option, so it's a different kind of personality. But as the leader of the team, he needs to instill these guys with confidence. And when they see that he has no confidence in them, when he doesn't trust them, which he admits to after the game, I got to learn how to do that better. When they're standing around getting cold because they're not getting touches and they're not shooters in the first place, does that help or hurt? Of course it hurts. He had double-digit assists, I think practically, or actually 10 assists in the first half of the game. But when you needed him with that stat the most in the fourth quarter, he didn't do it. And that's why they lost.
Max, my brother from another mother.
I got to admit it.
My brother from another mother. I have to say this to you. It's not something I normally want to say to a man, but you sound so cute right now. You really do. Because you brought up Magic Johnson. Let me tell you something about Magic Johnson real quick. Don't fall for that nonsense. Talk to the players that played with Magic Johnson. Yes, he's nice. Yes, Magic Johnson's affable. Yes, Magic Johnson's somebody that instills confidence. He's also somebody that instilled fear.
No doubt.
You know you better make that shot, right? You know you better make that shot. You know if you miss that, you make this mistake. You know what's going to happen.
But Stephen A.,
right?
he got
him
the ball.
By that.
But I'm not saying Magic Johnson's Mr. Nice Guy. I'm saying he instilled confidence in his teammates, and he trusted his teammates, and he got them the ball. Westbrook, in the moment of truth, Westbrook, who again, like double-digit assists in the first half, in the moment of truth, tunnel vision, didn't see open shooters, tried to do too much because he's that competitive.
Quick remark to end this. Magic Johnson got certain people the ball. Everybody didn't get the ball. He knew the personnel. Unfortunately, Russell Westbrook had nobody to get the ball.
Yeah? How about you said McDermott? Would Magic have gotten McDermott the ball?
All right, gentlemen, let's leave it there. We need to go a little further with this series. So, shocker, these two don't see eye to eye on Mr. Triple-Double, but we need your help.
He's right about McDermott.
How much is Westbrook to blame for the Thunder's 0-2 hole? A little, a lot, not at all. Get on Twitter now and vote. Houston with a commanding lead as the series heads to OKC on Friday. That one at 9:30 on ESPN. In NBA history, teams that have taken a 2-game lead in a best-of-7 series have gone on to win the series 94% of the time. Stephen A., is it time to start chanting, "It's all over"? Actually, Max. Let's start with Max here.
Yeah. No, it's actually not. And I know what the stats are. It's likely, obviously, you staked one team to a 2-game lead, especially when they had a better regular season record. You expect them to win. I get that. But what's the old expression? It's not a series till the home team loses. The home team hasn't lost yet. And we were debating this yesterday, Stephen A. You said they lose this game, that's it. Their confidence will be shot. What I said was, if they have a better showing, if they make this a tough, close game, actually, they'll take some momentum back home, where I expect they'll win game 1 at home, meaning game 3 overall, because they'll ride that momentum. They'll show they can compete if they do better on the glass. If they get back to the things they do well, OKC that is, they'll be able to win at home at least that first game, and then it's still a series as long as they hold home court. I believe that is the case, and we saw a superhuman effort from Westbrook that put them in a position to win. And what we just debated, Stephen A., his trusting his teammates, his not just getting tunnel vision and trying to do too much. I think he was sufficiently burnt by this last experience that it'll be a little bit more in the forefront of his mind. At the press conference, as I said, he copped to it. He was the one who brought it up. when reporters were trying to feed him lines that would, maybe let him make an excuse, he wasn't having it. He wasn't looking for excuses. He talked about his responsibility to his team and his teammates. And I think given the freshness of that experience, even though he is who he is, I get it, he'll revert to type ultimately. But right now that's on his mind. Watch them win Game 3 behind not only a dominant Westbrook, but a smarter Westbrook in the fourth quarter. This is still a series till the home team loses.
Max Kellerman, this series is over. Now, Russell Westbrook will get you one. Just like I said about AI years ago in 2001 when he went up against Shaq, Kobe, and the Lakers. AI will get you one. Russell Westbrook will get you one. This series is over in 5. Houston's going to go to Oklahoma City. All they need is one. They're going to come back to Houston for Game 5. They're going to close Oklahoma City out, and they're going to end Russell Westbrook's season. You can book it. It's just that simple. This is what happens when you can't shoot. Now, if you want to make a big argument on behalf of Oklahoma City in terms of Houston, I'll bring up one name for you, Ryan Anderson. I mean, could you show up pretty please with sugar on top, Ryan Anderson? I thought you were a shooter. I mean, damn, he looked like me when I was shooting against James Harden. It's that damn bad. He shot 2 for 14 in the first 2 games and 0 for 11 from three-point range. A sighting in APB needs to be put out there for Ryan Anderson, who was brought there to be a damn shooter with Mike D'Antoni as your coach.
It wasn't to play defense.
You're damn right about that. But I mean, my God, Max, 0 for 11 from three-point range and 2 for 14 overall. Thank God for Louis Williams and Eric Gordon, who hit a shot late from the damn parking lot for crying out loud, a 3 to really help seal the deal for Houston last night. But having said all of that, look, Oklahoma City is rough and rugged. They played better last night. Russell Westbrook was sensational. All those things are true. And Robertson sticking James Harden has made life tough. Now, James Harden's still averaging 36 in the series, but it's a tough time that he's having with Robinson than he would have with others. And thank God for that, because we all know Robinson can't shoot. So the fact that he plays defense is a good thing, even though he played well in Game 1 offensively. In the end, what it comes down to is this. Houston is better. They have too many weapons. And we haven't even seen Ryan Anderson or a Clint Capella get off a little bit. And so the way I'm looking at it is I think that Oklahoma City, led by the greatness of Russell Westbrook in an individual performance, sparked and spearheaded by that crowd, Max Kellerman is probably right. You'll win a game. But that's it.
Well, look.
Game 5 in Houston. This series is over.
Look. Ryan Anderson, Eric Gordon, who else did you just mention? Lou Williams. They've surrounded James Harden. Daryl Morey's done a great job surrounding James Harden with shooters and the kind of shooters at positions that make life much easier for James Harden and allow D'Antoni to run his system, which he recently said, I think it was on Mike and Mike, he's doubled down on what he did in Phoenix. If anything, he didn't go take it to the limit in Phoenix, and he's really doubled down in terms of playing that way. It's all free throws and three-pointers, right? So we get that.
a little bit different back then, too, though.
Sure.
Go ahead.
Okay, yes, of course. But this is according to D'Antoni. He wishes, knowing what he knows now, he would have even taken it further then. Certainly, he's taken it to an extreme right now, and they should beat Oklahoma City partly as a result of that. Yes, but Oklahoma City does some things very well, including in the first 2 games of this series, especially in Game 1, defending the 3. And in Game 2, they combine that with actually grabbing some rebounds.
Are you sure? Are you sure about defending the 3, or are dudes just missing? I mean, 0 for 11 and Ryan Anderson.
Right.
Every one of those shots wasn't defended.
No,
just
but
missing.
generally, he is missing, and you're right. If he gets going, it's going to be a problem. But generally, especially in Game 1, they did a very good job, Oklahoma City did, of defending the 3. Look at what happened last night. By the skin of their teeth, Houston got away with one at home. That wasn't a blowout. That was a game that Oklahoma City seemed like they had in hand, although it was close, for most of the game. And then late, when Westbrook sits, when Westbrook sat, they went on a run, and there were a few tactical errors late in the game, and they just barely got by at home. You mean to tell me that OKC can't certainly win their first game at home and then try and follow that up Home team hasn't lost, Stephen A.
I just finished saying to you, I'll give you the game 3. All I said to you is that they ain't winning 2 on their home turf.
Why?
And then they got to come back to Houston, and Houston is going to close this out in game 5. Series is over,
Game
bro.
4, game
Series
4
is over.
magically, game 4 they can't win. They can win game 3, but there's something about
They ain't
game
winning
4.
2. They ain't winning 2. They ain't winning 2. When you can't shoot, you ain't getting 2 in a row.
All right. Gentlemen, got to leave it there. Game 3 Friday on ESPN. Looking forward to that. Meanwhile, the Pats visit the White House, but surprise, surprise, Gronk stealing the show. Up next, these guys will react to the Champs Day with POTUS. And famous Jameis is primed to make the leap to elite, but stay tuned because the man that could help him get there is here in studio. First Take.